this two-day seminar on Puducherry economy and to share my views on some of the challenges that are faced by Puducherry economy. And I am indeed grateful to Dr. Selvam for affording me this exceptional opportunity and to the Institute of Social Sciences and its members. This seminar assumes significance from various points of view. As our Chief Minister rightly said, the discussions and deliberations of this seminar should be able to give an optimal mix of policies that are required for the government of Puducherry. And these policies would help the government of Puducherry to put correct plans, the right approaches to the developmental issues of Puducherry. And therefore it is significant. Secondly, Puducherry economy has not been highlighted at the national level. We have attended a number of national seminars, regional seminars. Nowhere to my knowledge, the Puducherry economy and its distinguishing characteristics have been exposed by the intellectuals or the so-called economists or the social scientists. In that respect, this is a modest attempt on the part of the Institute of Social Science to provide a forum for discussion. And the third important significance of this seminar is that the timing of this seminar, right? You have organized this seminar on Puducherry economy at a time when we have a new Chief Minister, a new Lieutenant Governor, both of whom are envisaging a prosperous Puducherry, right? The Lieutenant Governor, on the day when she arrived, she said, I am aiming for a prosperous Puducherry. Our Chief Minister endorsed that view and said that we have commonality in our philosophy and we also want to have prosperous Puducherry. And prosperous Puducherry cannot be built without a critical role played by Puducherry economy. And therefore, the Puducherry economy has to provide the foundations of that future, that prosperous Puducherry that they are envisaging as a vision goal. Maybe in my view, that vision is possible by 2030, 15 years from now, provided the Chief Minister is able to constitute a committee to prepare a vision document for Puducherry. Vision document for Puducherry in the next 15 years, as the government of Tamil Nadu has done, right? They hired a committee from the Asian Development Bank and prepared a vision document, and everything is now done according to the schemes enclosed or schemes mentioned in that document. And Puducherry has not done that, except perhaps a sporadic attempt was made to prepare a vision document for 2020, but that is not a comprehensive and complete document. But we need to take the present situation of the political economy of Puducherry and bring in all the elements which constitute the sound foundations of Puducherry and project it to the future 2030 vision document. I hope this seminar will be able to go towards this end and do the needful to help the government of Puducherry to prepare that vision document as well. Now, with this prologue in mind, let me now turn to the subject that is assigned, Puducherry economy, challenges and the way forward, right? Now, I should tell all the members present here that this is a topic with a very wide canvas. It is as big as discussing Indian economy, its challenges, way forward in the future. Although it is small, as our Chief Minister said, it has all the potentials of an economy. Therefore, the wider canvas cannot be explained or dealt within 40 to 45 minutes. And therefore, what I propose to do is, I will pose 4 important questions to you. Just to keep those 4 questions and see how the topic of today's discussion or the seminar can be brought into the right perspective. The first question is Puducherry economy same as any other regional economy, any other state economy, or are there distinguishing features of Puducherry economy which can be learned by others from the lessons of Puducherry economy? That's the first question. The second question is, taking a base period of say 1960 or 61, when Puducherry emerged as an economy after independence and all that, what has happened in the last 56 years, taking 2016 as the current year, what has happened in between these two periods? What has been the performance of Puducherry economy during this period? And this performance analysis would lead us to the third question, namely, what are the challenges that are faced by Puducherry economy today? And how do we solve them? And what is our vision for the next 15 years? Or what is the way forward? So in answering these four questions, you would be able to bring almost all aspects of what we want to discuss in this. I'm not going to deal all this at length because tomorrow we have discussions on the sectoral profiles, the individual problems, the sectoral issues, the challenges and other things are going to come. What I propose to do is to make a bird's eye view of the entire gamut of issues and try to brainstorm you on the issues that need to be discussed tomorrow perhaps all the technical sessions. Now coming to the first question, are there distinguishing characteristics of Puducherry economy? What is Puducherry economy? What does it mean? Puducherry economy, in terms of its structure, in terms of its composition, is the same as Tamil Nadu economy, Karnataka economy, or Kerala economy, or even the Indian economy. So the economy consists of three broad sectors: the primary sector, the secondary sector, and the tertiary sector. The primary sector consisting of agriculture, fisheries, animal husbandry, forestry and logging, all these constitute the primary sector. And this sector operates in the rural area, so therefore it embodies the features of rural economy. The secondary sector consists of manufacturing industries, registered, unregistered industries, electricity, gas, construction. All these constitute the secondary sector. All other things which are not included in the primary sector and the secondary sector constitute what is called the tertiary sector. So in terms of this structural arrangement, Puducherry economy is the same as any other economy. Like other economies, it has got a revenue structure, expenditure structure, fiscal structure. All these are all one and the same from the national level to the state level as well as to Puducherry economy. But what you don't find in other economies, you are able to see in Puducherry economy. Some of the points which were beautifully illustrated by our Chief Minister also come under the category of the distinguishing characteristics. Now, what are those distinguishing characteristics of Puducherry economy? Puducherry economy is one of the smallest economies in India. Smallest economies. It has got an area which is equivalent to 0.01% of the total area of India. 0.01% of the area of India is possessed by Puducherry. Puducherry possesses 0.01% of the population of India. And her economic size, as measured by the total output produced in the economy, which is expressed in the gross state domestic product, is just only 25,319 crores, which is just 0.5% of the national income of India. Therefore, in all respects, you find Puducherry being one of the smallest Small is beautiful. Small is great also in several respects. And that is what we are experiencing as far as Puducherry is also concerned. As I will be explaining to you, Puducherry is one of the advanced economies in India. Whether we like it or not, whether we take other aspects or not, the bare facts with the help of which you measure development of any economy shows that Puducherry is one of the advanced economies in the entire country today, with all the good parameters on both the economic as well as the social sides. But it is a small economy. The second important characteristic is that this economy is not a contiguous economy, is not a compact economy as Tamil Nadu. If you take Tamil Nadu, for example, from Chennai to Kanyakumari, it is contiguous. If you take Karnataka economy, it is contiguous, it is compact. But Puducherry economy is not like that. In fact, Puducherry economy is not one economy. Right? Puducherry economy consists of 4 sub-economies. That one economy is Puducherry regional economic, Karaikal economy, Mahe economy, and Yanam economy. So you have sub-economies within Puducherry economy. This phenomenon you don't find anywhere. This is a peculiar feature of Puducherry, confined only to Puducherry. And what is the consequence of this? Right? All the other regions don't interact with each other, but they are trying to interact with the hinterland of the states where they are located. Mahe is located in Kerala. So Mahe's economy, it's in economic integration and the social embeddedness is found in Kerala. Whatever is happening in Kerala will affect Mahe economy. Whatever is happening in Yanam, it will affect Yanam, the East Godavari district, it will affect Yanam economy. And many of the activities of Tamil Nadu government will affect Puducherry and Karaikal economy. So for example, Karaikal is in the delta region of the Kaveri. Whether Karnataka gives Kaveri water or not, Tamil Nadu should give water to us. If Tamil Nadu doesn't give, Karaikal region is affected. Karaikal being an agricultural economy, it will suffer a great if that state is not helping us. So likewise, Puducherry is interspread with various areas of Tamil Nadu, and therefore the economy of Puducherry has got this special characteristics wherein there is free mobility of factors of production from outside to Pondicherry. And there is free movement of factors of production for Puducherry to other areas. Land, natural resources, labor, capital, financial flows, all come from other parts of India. And you get that flow. Thank you. One. The point that I am trying to explain to you is that the degree of openness of Puducherry economy is greater as compared to other economies. Therefore, the second is this non-contiguous nature. The third one is Puducherry economy is a non-agricultural economy. It's a non-agricultural economy, like Tamil Nadu economy or Karnataka economy or other economies, for the simple reason that only 3% of the state domestic product is originating from agriculture. The remaining 97% of the income is generated from non-agricultural sectors, non-agricultural sector, that gives an urban orientation to Pondicherry economy. Puducherry economy basically now is an urban economy, where the non-agricultural activities like service sector activities, industrial sector activities are carried on in urban areas. Therefore, it possesses all the characteristics of an urban economy. The other feature is there is resource constraint as far as Puducherry is concerned. The land resources, the other natural resources, water resources, infrastructure resources, all of them have their own limitations on the development of Puducherry. And Puducherry is mostly a consuming economy. It's a consuming economy. It's not a producing economy because there are only 40 to 45% of the people are working in various economic activities. The remaining 55% of people are dependent. And this dependent population is eating into the incomes of the people who are earning. So it is a consuming economy. And lastly, Puducherry is central-centric economy. Central-centric economy. That means Puducherry economy is dependent on the central government for its existence. The constitutional structure of Puducherry economy is such that for most of your resources, you have to depend on the center. Most of your plans have to be approved by the center. Your budget has to be approved by the center. The state government, I will not call this a state government, the union territory government doesn't have the power even to formulate its plans and budget. They have to be approved by the Home Ministry first, and then by the Finance Ministry, and only in the last minute you will be given the figures of plan outlay, non-plan outlay, etc. And if the center is unfavorably disposed to Puducherry, then Puducherry economy will be in doldrums. It is not like other economies where the state has a